Hello, church, and happy Friday. You know, yesterday we had the National Day of Prayer, and all the way up into the Oval Office outside in the yard there, we have great people of faith praying for our nation, and I am so grateful for that. But today's topic I'd like to talk about Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, which states, "Trust in the Lord with all of your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight." I began to dissect this a little bit, and one of the words that I looked at is trust. Trust in the Lord. So how do you trust in the Lord? Well, the word trust, I looked it up, and in the Hebrew, it simply means to believe and to totally be surrendered to him and yielded to him. It's just like if you were taught to do a diving into a pool from a diving board, and you were encouraged by someone you looked up to go ahead and do it. It's kind of scary at first, but you put your total trust and faith in that person, and you did. You took your first dive, or maybe your first swim, or maybe learning to drive the car. How about getting on a two-wheeled bicycle? What in your life have you totally trusted in, and what are you and I trusting in today? Are we trusting in our own abilities? Are we trusting in our knowledge? Are we trusting in our strength? What are we trusting in our wife or our husband or a good friend or father or mother? Are we trusting in the Lord? Are we fully focused on the Lord? And then the other word I looked up was the heart. So in this text, Hebrew brings out many things. The heart is considered to be the seat of one's inner emotions, or an inner sense of the nature of that person. I'll give you an example. In Genesis 6:6, it reads that the Lord, God's inner nature, was deeply troubled. And here's how Genesis 6:6 reads. The Lord regretted that he had made human beings on the earth, and his heart was deeply troubled. Now, the heart is also desperately wicked. Who can know it? In Jeremiah 17:7, it says, but blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, who can have whose confidence is in him. So you want to be happy? Trust more in the Lord. And then the other word I came up with was lean. Do not lean. It made me think of leaning on a tree. Now, when I'm leaning on something, I'm actually distributing part of my body weight to that object that I'm leaning on in order to get some kind of relief, whether it's on my feet, a knee, could be a hip. Also in the Hebrew, it means to rely on or to support oneself. Okay, like I just mentioned, resting on a tree. So not all things that we lean on are going to give us support. I'm here several times. There's been a few times in my life where I've sat down on a chair thinking it would hold me up, only to wind up completely on the ground. I was putting my whole trust in that chair. In Job 8:15, it states, "He trusts in his house, but it does not stand. He holds fast to it, but it does not stand." I picture Job there just clinging to that house, hoping that it would be a sure thing to lean on and to stand on, but the house failed him. The Lord doesn't fail us. Now, understanding, God has graciously given every one of us with an ability to understand and to comprehend, but know that it's not infallible. So we should always ask for God's guidance at all times. In all your ways. What would that be? Well, the Hebrew kind of brings it out. Derek, it's a road as trodden on regularly, a course of life or a mode of action. or by conversation, a pattern of our lives. So there are ways of darkness in Proverbs 2:13. There are pleasant ways, Proverbs 3:17. There's wise ways, Proverbs 6:6. And then, of course, there's a literal path that one walks on in Judges 5:6. It says, be on the right path by leaning on God. That's not what it says, but I'm saying you can be on that right path by leaning on God and by totally trusting God in His Word, surrendered to Him with your heart, your inner emotions, and by understanding God and His ways. So trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He'll direct your paths. I thank God for the National Day of Prayer, and I thank God that we have leaders in Washington that are godly men and women, people praying out to God and realizing we are one nation under God. Folks, have a blessed weekend. Enjoyed sharing with you.